Hello, my name is Larry Bill. I'm from Cape Girardeau County, and I'm running for Congress in the 8th District as an independent. And the reason I'm running as an independent is I'm very disappointed with the way the Republican Party operated between 2000 and 2006. They had control of the presidency, the Senate, and the House, and they went ahead and started spending like drunken sailors. One of the biggest examples we've got right now is in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. We have a $63 million federal courthouse that wasn't needed, named after Rush Limbaugh Jr.'s grandfather, and it has a part-time judge.
It's not a courthouse.
That's just one example of what the Republicans did when they were in action. They've got a great platform, but they violate it when they're in action and when they're in power. And that's why I'm running as an independent. Now, it's a different kind of a run whenever you run as an independent. The state requires you to go through a petition process where you have to go up to registered voters and request that they sign your petition that allows you to get on the ballot. We may or may not make that, but personally I just don't care. I think I need to step up, I need to step forward, and at least try to help this country in whatever way I can. Now, I grew up in Cape Girardeau County in a farm in the west end of Cape County. And after I graduated from college, I was lucky enough to get in the Air Force and serve my country for 22 years. I retired as a pilot and a lieutenant colonel a few years ago. While serving in the reserves, I also operated a business with my wife where we worked 17 years in the real estate business where we bought houses, remodeled them, and resold them. And I know what it takes, if you're in business, to put your own money and your own fortune and your own future on the line and generate an income from your own creativity. It's very critical, and the people we have in Washington right now do not understand that. And we've had our representative's been working there 14 years, and she's had plenty of opportunity, including that period between 2000 and 2006, where she could have stopped some of this madness that the Republican Party started. Now, the Democrat Party, the way I look at this situation right now, is that George Bush took the ball, ran the wrong way for 10 yards, and then he lateraled to Obama, and he went for 30 yards more in the wrong direction. We have got to stop this, and the Congress is where it's got to start. Now, you may wonder, you say, you're going to be an independent, what are you going to do if you're stuck up there in Congress? Well, let me explain my hypothesis, and it may not be true, but I don't care, we have to go with a game plan to start with. There's probably going to be 35 independents and third-party candidates actually end up in Congress. What I think this will do is this will force the Democrats to have 200 representatives, the Republicans to have 200 representatives, and they will not be able to get a majority without working with those 35 independents and third-party candidates. That's our opportunity to steer this country back to what I think we need to be focusing on. We don't need to be focusing on where did my campaign money come from, where do I go whenever I want to party, all these other things that these other two major contenders are bringing up. What we need to do is we need to focus on energy independence. I served over in Saudi Arabia on multiple occasions flying AWACS, and I saw what the United States was committed to, both with treasure and with personnel, to keep the monarchy of Saudi Arabia in power. We did not need to do this. We need to have energy independence. And even though we've got the problem right now in the Gulf, I'm not changing my stance that we need to keep drilling here and developing our own resources for petroleum and also to work on nuclear energy. We've got to work on reducing spending, and I've got some samples that we could get rid of right now. Mrs. Emerson has an earmark for the Congressional Hunger Fund based in Washington, D.C., of which she contributed, she didn't contribute. She borrowed $3 million from China so our kids could pay it back for the Congressional Hunger Fund based in Washington, D.C., which has no purpose. She also gave or earmarked $365,000 to the New York City-based Girl Scouts of America. And that money, again, was borrowed from the future. We've got a earmark right now in Cape Girardeau for a bicycle bridge of $1.6 million, which has to be borrowed from China and paid back by our kids. This is for a bicycle bridge on a bicycle trail. Does anybody see that here as a priority for our country when we're going broke? We need to stop illegal immigration. As I said, We've had 14 years of opportunity to stop illegal immigration, and nothing's being done about it. Our federal government should not force a state like Arizona into passing a law saying we're going to go ahead and enforce the law even if you're not going to do that. It's important. Now, we talked about already losing a spot here, a seat here in Congress in Missouri. And the reason is because they were counting the illegal immigrants that are flowing into Texas, Arizona, and California. They will be counted. Also, I think we need term limits for congressmen. Right now, these people that are in Congress now focus on generating income from lobbyists. 47% of Mrs. Emerson's money comes from lobbyists in Washington, D.C. Whenever that happens, that's who they are going to listen to. If we have term limits, at least we'll have one option to get these people out. You can't tell me that amongst a country with over 300 million people, there aren't more equally or better qualified people that should be allowed the chance to compete. In the last election, in 2008, our representative had over $1 million. Her closest competitor had $65,000. I do not consider that a fair fight. And if we had term limited these people out, then we could start everybody else on an equal basis. Those are the things I believe in, and those are the things I think we need to focus on as a nation. And that's what I talk about when I go up to someone and get a signature on my petition. Because I can't just hand out a flyer, but even for me to just get on the ballot, I have to come up to them and convince them within about 25 seconds that what they're doing is helping them commit. Most of the people that sign my petition are doing it out of sense of fair play. I don't think they're totally convinced that I'm the person to send to Congress, but they believe in a sense of fair play and an opportunity for everybody. And that's why I can get just about 75% of the registered voters I talk to agree to go along with the plan. I focus on term limits for congressmen, energy independence, reduced spending, and stopping illegal immigration. Now, there are a lot of people that go, you know, Joanne came in and she helped me with this project. She helped my veteran brother get into the home. I hear this all the time because I'm in amongst the people. I'm very glad that they got that opportunity. I'm glad they got what they were entitled to. But the thing to always remember is, it is not Joanne's money. It is your money. And don't ever forget that. It's not a gift from heaven. It's not Santa Claus. That's very important to remember. Now, does everybody remember when you bought a house, they gave you a pile of papers about 2 inches thick? And let's say your house cost $100,000. But then you looked at the numbers and you said, whoa, wait a minute. It says here $180,000. Well, over a period of 30 years, that's the interest cost that goes in to buying a home. So when you buy a home for $100,000, it costs you $180,000. When they buy a $1.6 million bicycle bridge in Cape Girardeau, by the time you get done, all the interest on there that you paid to China, that bicycle bridge costs your kids, the little ones, $40,000 a head, $2.8 million. I have got that concept in my head. I'm going to stick with that whenever I get up into Congress. And we need a leader up there that will tell President Obama, we are in the Congress. We are co-equal with you. If you want to institute your EPA regulation, we're going to stop the funding for it. And that's what I believe. That's what I'm going to stick with. I hope you vote for me in November. If you don't, please stick with a conservative candidate, someone like Bob Parker or Chuck Ferguson. I highly encourage you at least vote for them whenever you get to the primary. Good luck and God bless America, and thank you very much. My name is Larry Bill.